Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration presented by the New Jersey Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. My name is Dana Lambert. I am a school counselor at West Milford High School. I am the facilitator to go over a little bit of some housekeeping, and then I will turn you over for a wonderful taste of the South with some great surprises. I got a preview. So all of you are muted. Your camera and your microphones are off. The panelists can't see or hear you, but you will be able to see or hear them. You can ask questions, and we certainly encourage questions. You will use the question and answer feature to type questions to the presenters. This is one of, I think, 185 sessions, so we encourage you to sign up for more sessions. This presentation is being recorded, as are all of the sessions. So you'll be able to go back and refer to this session. If you love what you hear, you can send someone else to this session, and you'll be able to see the sessions that you have missed. At this point, I am going to turn it over to everyone representing the South and let you hear about some wonderful schools. Okay, presenters, it's all you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our webinar on A Taste of the South. We're super excited to be sharing a little bit more with y'all about the University of Alabama, the University of Florida, and the University of South Carolina, and all the great things that we have to offer down in the beautiful Southeast, coming from the great state of New Jersey. So my name is Allie Warwick. I am the regional admissions representative for the University of South Carolina. I cover all of Southern New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania, technically the greater Philadelphia area, but love working with my Jersey folks.
Hi, y'all. My name is Jeannie, like in a bottle, and I work with all students in the state of New Jersey and in the state of Pennsylvania, and I dabble a little bit in Delaware.
Well, welcome all, everyone, and roll tide. I am representing the great University of Alabama. I am the regional admissions recruiter for Northern New Jersey and Greater New York. So a little bit about where the Southeast Conference is located. So as you can see from this map, they are around the whole Southeast. They are nowhere, they are very centrally located around capital cities, so that you can have that big city feel while then going onto a campus and really feeling that, that campus feel of inclusivity when you are walking the hallowed halls or walking along a quad or along a river and really getting steeped into that very big Southern feel. So speaking of being in that Southern feel, we are here to break the norms of what Southern public universities are about. I know everybody expects that us, we're going to be about football, and we're going to be about parties, and we're going to be about having fun. Well, we are all of that, but I want you to also know that, especially, I'm going to talk about the University of Alabama. We have accelerated master's programs for most of our majors. We have our STEM path and Create path to our MBA. And we also have our accounting program is number 7 in the nation, and our graduate program is number 10. We also have a wind tunnel on our campus. Now tell me, that is really cool. Jeannie, tell us some facts about the University of Florida.
Just a few notable information about University of Florida is that we are ranked number 6 within US News for top public universities in the nation. We also just added artificial intelligence onto our campus, making us the fastest AI supercomputer in higher education, with projects in healthcare, agriculture, and cybersecurity, just to name a few. But lastly, we are one of 5 recognized with the Senator Paul Simon for strength of our international efforts. Now, Allie will talk about some of the highlights about University of South.
Thank you, Jeannie. So the University of South Carolina has a number of excellent programs and accolades that we're super, super proud of, just like the University of Florida and the University of Alabama. At USC, we've actually had the #1 ranked public honors college since 2012. So really kind of morphing that small school feel into large school atmosphere with everything that we have to offer down in the city of Columbia. We've also had the #1 international business program for the last 22 years consecutively. So think about that, older than every single one of you, and then some. We've been #1 in that program, and adding so much more into our School of Business as well, with a worldwide reputation. Lastly, we also have received the Insight to Diversity's Higher Education Excellence and Diversity Award every single year since 2012, which we're so excited about, that we're increasing our underrepresented minority population on campus every single year.
So wow, that's a really big look of the city of Tuscaloosa. This slide is actually showing our downtown area. It shows that we are more than just a college campus. We actually have a thriving downtown area where students can go and partake of our Bama Theater, which has local productions and some traveling productions that you would see in theaters in Chicago, Los Angeles, Charlotte, and in New York City. We also have our Tuscaloosa Amphitheater, which I don't know, you might have heard some of these musical artists that have come to the amphitheater. Thomas Rhett, Toby Keith, Keith Urban has been there, so has Kid Rock. There are also a few rap artists that I'm not going to venture their names because I will probably butcher it, but I know there have been several rap artists that have appeared at the amphitheater and on campus. So that's a really cool vibe to be able to experience. Not only do we have that downtown area, we are along the Black Warrior River. So you have our Manderson Landing, which is part of our campus, and you have a walking running trail that right along past that river. So it imbibes that cool water that you can get like all centered and feel great and feel wonderful when you are near it, and it de-stresses you. But you also can go right down to our Tuscaloosa Farmers Market that is open every Wednesday and Saturday if you'd like to partake in some fresh vegetables, maybe some fruits, or maybe some scented candles and soaps. We also have our Capitol Park, which this is something I just learned recently. Capitol Park is they are stone ruins of the historic capital of when Tuscaloosa was the capital of the state of Alabama. So that's a really cool fact to be able to take pictures along with these artifacts. These ruins were actually, it happened in the 1900s. The capital was burned to the ground, unfortunately. Just a little bit more about our city. There are 100,000 in the city of Tuscaloosa. We have 33,000 undergraduates. 63% of those undergraduates are from out of state. I send normally between 130 and 160 people from the greater New York, New Jersey area. This year, for the class of fall 2020, I sent 135 students. New Jersey and New York are among the top 10 states that send their students to UA. So if you are a resident in one of those states, guess what? You can come on down to Tuscaloosa and we will roll out the red carpet of hospitality to you. Jeannie?
We are your traditional college town, just like Tuscaloosa, but with lots of natural landscapes around Gainesville. We are #5 best college town. We have a wide variety of natural springs for swimming, floating, but also for hands-on learning and research. Our downtown area, which is about 10 minutes away walking from campus, has live music all the time, lots of farmers markets on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and you'll only really find local restaurants and boutiques in our downtown area. Even though we are in North Central Florida, we have plenty of sunshine, but we don't get the name the swamp without a little bit of rain. Gainesville is the largest city in the county, and campus has about 57,000 students total. About 36,000 students are undergraduates coming from all states and 131 countries. About 14% of our students are out of state, coming from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Long Island. So you won't be the only people from the Northeast on campus. Here's Allie to talk a little bit about Columbia.
Thanks, Jeannie. So the University of South Carolina is located right in the heart of the state capital of South Carolina, of Columbia. We are right smack dab in the center of the state, about an hour and 25-minute drive to the coast in Charleston, South Carolina, an hour and 20 minutes from Charlotte, North Carolina, and also about 2 hours and 30 minutes from Atlanta, Georgia. So anywhere you want to get in the Southeast, we are a great centralized point. And also we have so much to offer in our state capital city. Our campus is very much integrated with the city of Columbia. We were original to the city of Columbia, and then the entire city kind of expanded around our campus. So we really truly are in the heart of everything, just steps away from city life, very much an urban campus feel. If you're kind of thinking about size-wise, the city of Columbia is about a quarter of the size of Philadelphia and even less in comparison to New York. So when we are steps away from all of this city life, all this urban life, there are 3 main downtown districts. One is the Vista, one is 5 Points, and one is Main Street. They are all very student-friendly. You can even find a farmer's market every Saturday morning, rain or shine, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Main Street, which leads you straight up into the State House, the Capitol building of our state of South Carolina. We also have a booming foodie scene. We have a few different art museums, the State Museum as well, for the entire state of South Carolina. And so we really do kind of serve as a great stepping stone on if you want to move down to the South from New Jersey after high school and maybe stay down there full time. We are a fantastic place to get started, having been a Gamecock after your first 4 years there as a student. So go ahead, Judy, it's your turn to share a little bit more about your wonderful institution.
Thank you so much, Allie. So any important piece about making a college decision is you want to know about campus life. You want to know, of course, you want to know about everything else that goes on, but you really want to know is when school stops, for the other 4 days, basically, that you're on campus, you want to know what you're going to be doing. So I can tell you at the University of Alabama, we have over 600 clubs and organizations. It's actually climbed to almost 650 clubs and organizations now that we have on campus. You have your range from service organizations to political organizations to cultural to religious organizations and more. I can tell you some examples of some clubs that we have. We have our Formula SAE club, which is our race car club. Before the pandemic, they would race at different universities on the weekends. And we are, I believe we are 10th in the nation when it comes to our Formula Racing Club. We also have an Eco Car Club, which is through our College of Engineering. And you don't need to be in the College of Engineering to be part of the club, but they actually build the car. Last year, I believe we were given a car by Chrysler Corporation, and now we will have 4 years to build that car and make sure that it is eco-friendly and be able to show it off and then have a competition at the end of those 4 years. So it's really exciting things that happen at the university. We also have one of our top clubs is our cycle club. We have a lot of outdoor trails, so there's a lot of outdoor biking that goes on in Tuscaloosa. We also have a kayak club. I remember I told you that we are right on the Black Warrior River. So there is definitely that space where students can take out kayaks and enjoy the scenic views of the Black Warrior River. And we also have the ABXY Gaming Network, which is the largest gaming club on a college campus. We have 34 sports clubs like esports, lacrosse and clay shooting that you can be part of, and intramural sports. Not to be outdone, UA has the largest Greek system in the country. 11,000 plus students are involved, which only means about 33% of our student body is involved in that. And that includes fraternities and sororities. These are both professional fraternities and sororities and also our social ones. Last year, UA students logged in more than 1 million hours of community service. And I find this number extremely interesting because campus wound up closing due to the pandemic in mid-March. So a lot of the events that were planned for the end of March and in April and the beginning of May were canceled. So imagine what these students could do with all of those hours. It's so gratifying to know that the Greek organizations do so much to give back to our Tuscaloosa community. We also have lots of places to eat. So not only do we have places on the strip that you can use your Bama Cash or your dining dollars and make sure that you can get your fill of Chipotle or maybe Glory Bound if you're in the mood for some Greek food, but you can also go to our 3 dining halls. If that is not suiting you right away, you can go stop at one of our 8 food trucks. We also have some smoothie shops on campus, so feel free to check them out. And when you are on campus, feel free to walk into Fresh Foods. It's all fresh foods, farm to table, great stuff, and you'll make sure that you are fed very well. So Jeannie, tell us a little bit about campus life at the University of Florida.
With life in the swamp, there is a wide variety of things to do on campus since we have over 2,000 events happening on campus each year. We have over 1,000 clubs and student organizations on campus, such as the Quidditch Club. So if you love Harry Potter, you can live out your Harry Potter dreams. We also have the Anti-Social Club, but we also have a club called the Falling Gators, which is a skydiving club, but also sailing team. So wide variety of fun, but we also have academic and professionally focused ones. We also have one of the largest budgets, giving us the opportunity for you to create your own club if you'd like to. We also bring a lot of guest lectures to campus, such as Bill Nye, the Science Guy, Pitbull. He talked to our music students about how to really market yourself internationally, but also our business students to show that you can have versatility, but also Stephen King, for example. About 18% of our students are a part of Greek life. So if you want to be a part of it, you can, but also don't feel like you will be left out on campus. Now I'll pass it to Allie to talk about Columbia.
Thanks, Jeannie. So at the University of South Carolina, we actually have over 500 student organizations on our campus for students to take part in. About 27% of our student body is Greek. And just like the University of Alabama and Judy's statistics that she gave to you all, that does include social fraternities and sororities, as well as professional and multicultural Greek organizations as well. We actually have a leadership and service center on our campus dedicated to helping students find their perfect fit with their student organization. So if you don't have a fit, or if you're still looking for something out of those 500, you can very easily create your own student organization at USC with 5 friends and 1 staff or faculty advisor to assist you through that process. All freshmen are required to live on campus through their first year at USC. And part of that is making sure that they engage with their living and learning community, which are intentional pairings of where you live based on major, interest, or identity. It's important to note that we have been recognized for the past 2 years straight from U.S. News and World Report as the #1 first-year experience for a public college in the country, which we're really, really excited about. And part of that is through our very intentional programming that we have with our student organizations and clubs on campus at South Carolina. And yes, by the way, that pool is available for student use. That's not the resort down the street, down at the coast. That is our gym right there on campus at USC.
So this is the part of the program where we get to talk about all of our fantastic academic programs. So I can tell you at the University of Alabama, we have 70 undergraduate programs and over 200 majors that are offered inside of our 8 schools and colleges. So inside of those 8 schools, I am going to also mention that we have another college, and it's called New College. New College is for students who might not have really figured out when they're looking at the school, they know what they want to do when they get out of college. So they have a total plan. They know exactly where they're going. They want a straight shot ahead, but none of the majors correspond with what they want to do. So they will be able to go into the Arts and Science building, and they will be able to go to talk to someone at New College. New College is our school without walls. You can create your own major at the University of Alabama. If you have a direct plan of what you want to do when you graduate school, you can go and talk to somebody, and that your advisor would be one of the advisors from New College, who then pulls in other advisors from other colleges, and you and they sit down and you develop a plan of action, and you will develop your own curriculum. so that you would graduate with a degree from the University of Alabama through the College of Arts and Sciences through New College, but that degree would be a very flexible one where you would be able to live out your dream post-graduation. So we have 7 honors programs that go along with our very highly ranked honors college. We also have undergraduate research. We have been named one of the top doctoral research universities in the US in the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Boy, is that a mouthful. But these are all very high-ranking associations that take into account our professors, the amount of papers that they are writing, and the amount of research that they are doing on college campuses. Big research universities, that just means that there's a lot of money coming into the campus for research. It also means that professors are looking for students to help them with their research. So you will have the opportunity, even as a freshman, to be part of research with a professor, and your name could be put on one or more college papers. That's something that's very impressive that can go on your resume. Our student to faculty teacher ratio is 23:1. That's our average. We have programs like our Capstone College of Nursing, which has an 8:1 faculty student ratio, or our programs like in engineering, as you get into our upper levels, they are 12 to 15:1. So I always say take that with a grain of salt, because that's a high and a low. That's typically an average though. We have an 88% retention rate after our first year of study. We have a robust study abroad program that is offered to students. You can either do that study abroad program through our honors college. You can do that through our B.B. Comer Hall, which is the home of our study abroad program, or you can pick one of our 8 schools, and whichever major you are in, you would be able to go to your advisor and they will hook you up with a study abroad program for that particular program. So there's many ways that you can get abroad if that is something that you indeed want to do. We have programs on 6 continents, and we are affiliated with over 200 colleges. If you want to go to Antarctica, though, we do not have a program for that. Or maybe if you get a professor to agree, they might actually begin a program in Antarctica, because 50% of our programs are sponsored by a UA professor. Our Capstone Center for Student Success houses our tutoring area. So there is free tutoring available for students on campus. It's always a great resource, especially as a freshman. Sometimes you don't know where to go for help and you're not exactly sure. Well, I would recommend you taking a tour of the Capstone Center for Student Success, because they're going to have many different arenas where they can help you out. We are ranked number 2 in internship placement in the nation. We have co-op programs for our engineering and business programs, and it is firmly proven that if you have not only practical experience, but you also have academic prowess, you will have success getting a job on 6 months, at least 6 months after graduation. UA has a 90% placement rate. So Jeannie, you want to tell us a little bit about the University of Florida?
We have over 120 different majors for undergraduates to explore, giving you the flexibility to also change your major at UF. About 2/3 of our students do change their major. I know I changed my major 7 times in college, so it happens to the best of us. We have one of the highest freshman retention rates in the nation at 97%. Pretty much what that means is students are coming back from their first year to their second year and graduating with UF. About 70% of our classes have fewer than 30 students, and we have a student to faculty ratio of 17:1. We are hoping to get it to 15:1 because we want to give you the big campus resources with the small campus feel in the classroom. Last year, we had over $900 million worth of funding for research, making us number 25 for public universities, research universities in the US. We are the school that created Gatorade, hence why it's called Gator. And also this past spring, we were working on ventilators for COVID patients. We also have a #1 teaching hospital for our students, so you are able to get hands-on experience with that. Here's Allie to talk about the academics at South Carolina.
Thanks, Jeannie. So at USC, we actually have over 100 majors for you to take advantage of at the University of South Carolina, including undeclared. We know that 17-year-olds don't always know exactly what they want to study coming into college. And guess what? That's okay. That's actually the majority of students, in addition to the number of students who change their major, which is definitely most of them change at least once, if not multiple times, as we've seen in the past. We do have about an 88% retention rate, so right on par with the national average of students returning for their sophomore year to continue as a Gamecock. We also have the #1 public honors college, as I mentioned very briefly earlier. So again, if you're looking for that maybe small school feel with all the large school resources of undergraduate research, you want the sports, you want the 500 student organizations, the honors college could be a really great fit for you to blend that small discussion-based curriculum with a class of like 15 kids on average. It could be a really great blend of that. You'll see there the Capstone Scholars Program. It's a similar program like the Honors College. However, it's less focused on the academic rigor and more so focused on that experiential learning piece. So for students who really want to continue their relationship with community service and leadership in their school community, this could be a really great fit for you all. They also house our largest living and learning community. So on top of having those outside of the classroom requirements, as well as the in the classroom environments of requirements, of course, they do also have the living and learning community, the residence hall to look forward to returning to and kind of establishing their network from there. We have over 300 unique degree options at USC, meaning that you can really mix and match what your interests are. If you want to be a nursing major, but you also want to take classes in art because your drawing is your passion, that's something that we can do for you at USC. We don't want to put you in a box. That's one of the biggest perks of being at a large school like the University of South Carolina or even the University of Alabama and Florida. You have really so many opportunities available to you and so many options in order to pursue your passions at USC, whether that's in the classroom or outside of the classroom. We do also really encourage our students to take part in undergraduate research. Students of any major can do this. You don't have to be in one of the STEM majors, nor do your projects have to be any sort of major related topic. They can be anything that varies from, you're super passionate about public health, but your major's in engineering. We can make that work. So definitely a lot of encouragement to go that route as well. If you're not going to go an internship or a co-op route, which is a requirement for most students at USC in order to graduate. So before we move on to the next slide, I do want everybody to know that there's going to be some audio playing through a video. So just prepare your ears in case your speakers are a little bit up louder, but we're going to talk about our school spirit, starting with the University of Alabama.
Wow. Now, didn't that just get you in the spirit to celebrate a touchdown? Because every time Crimson Tide has a touchdown, that song will play. Our award-winning $1 Million Band is behind that action right there. But I want to take you on a journey of a typical Saturday morning of when you will be able to get out of your dorm room, go down to the quad, and experience game day. So when you get up, you're going to see a ton of white tents all over the quad, and that's going to be where all the tailgates are. Families will drive, they will come in from everywhere to be part of this. They will set up their tailgate the night before. They will pay to have this all done, and everybody brings their food, and they have some barbecue, and they're going to have drinks, and some people play cornhole. The campus swells to about 125,000 people when there is a football weekend. It is the most incredible sight I have ever seen in my life, especially coming from New Jersey when we have like New York Giants and New York Jets football. That's nothing compared to what football is in the South. I didn't know what football was until I actually attended a University of Alabama football game. Through the day, I was at my tailgate, and all of a sudden I heard these trumpets playing, and people said to me, you have to go to Gorgas Library because on the steps is the elephant stomp. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, are elephants going to come down the street? What are you talking about? Well, the band section's off in 4 pieces. And part of the piece is going to be at Gorgas Library, which backs up right to the quad. And then that part of the band with the Crimsonettes will entertain the crowd. After they finish, as they're finishing the last song, the band comes back together. So you're going to have that huge band that's going to come all together on the quad, on the steps of Gorgas Library. And then they're going to walk down the street all together in a parade sort of fashion. And they're going to parade to right down to Bryant-Denny Stadium. And then right after that, what's going to happen is the bus is going to open, and the Alabama football players will get out with, of course, Coach Nick Saban leading the way, and they walk down the Walk of Champions. Now, I have to tell you, Bryant-Denny Stadium has undergone a renovation. And part of that renovation was our Walk of Champions. You see, it was a very sad fact, but the last square, we put squares down on our Walk of Champions of our championship football, when we've won the National Football Championship. Well, we had no place to put the 17th square. So we had to dig them all up and redo it all so that we would have room for new championships. So now we are on the road to 18. So now you're in the stadium and you're really excited. And the 4th quarter, right now, it's ended, right? So now we all put our 4s up, because if they play for 4, you stay for 4. And right when the 4th quarter begins, after the first play, well, Dixieland Delight comes on. And when Dixieland Delight comes on, you know that the feeling is great, it's awesome, and you're having a great time. And if you hear Sweet Home Alabama being played, you know that there's a game going on, you know that you're in Alabama, you know that when you are hearing it in a restaurant, everybody's gonna get up and sing. It is just a wonderful feeling that everybody has it is part of our culture. And I can tell you that all of our schools have that great cultural piece when it comes to celebrating football. So I'm going to let Jeannie now discuss some elements of the swamp.
All right, before I get a little too carried away, UF is full of Gator spirit. We have the largest student-run pep rally in the nation, which is called the Gator Growl. This happens the weekend of homecoming, which also means classes are canceled that Friday. That's because the city of Gainesville does a huge parade during the day, and then at night there is a really big concert. And in the past, we've had Ty Dolla $ign, Chase Rice, Passion Pit, and we've also had some comedians like Kevin Hart, to name a few. The way to the stadium is the Gator Walk, which athletes and fans make their way to the stadium. It's kind of a rite of passage when in Gainesville. Our stadium fits over 90,000 people in it, which is an amazing feeling, because at the end of the 3rd quarter, everyone sings the song "Won't Back Down" by Tom Petty. So it's a really bonding moment. And no matter where you are, even in Gainesville or in a restaurant in New Jersey or Philly, you are able to hear this song and it's 3rd quarter for the Gators. And no matter where you are, wear UF colors in the airport or anywhere, you will always get a Go Gators. And now Allie will talk a little bit about the Gamecock spirit.
Thanks, Jeannie. So, fun fact, I was in the marching band at the University of South Carolina for all 4 years of my undergraduate experience. So that song means even more to me than it does to any old Gamecock fan or student out there. So we have a lot of spirit on our campus when it comes to our varsity sports. So Williams-Brice Stadium fits 87,000 of your best friends. Any Eagles fans out there, the Philadelphia Eagles, our stadium's actually about 10,000 seats larger in capacity than the Lincoln Financial Field. So if you have any sort of idea of what going to an NFL football game is like up here, it's totally different down there. It's almost an entirely different experience, kind of like what Judy was saying and Jeannie were saying about their own football stadiums down in Tuscaloosa and in Gainesville. So something that's really unique about the University of South Carolina is that all of our student tickets are free for our students to take advantage of. So it's based on a loyalty point system, meaning basically the more events you go to on campus, even if they're not athletic events, it could be a college fair, or excuse me, a career fair. It can be, some sort of event that Gamecock Productions is putting on. You can actually rack up points to get a ticket to your first home football game at USC. And you can even use those tickets to get to a women's basketball game coached by the ever famous Dawn Staley, a Philadelphia native. So if you're interested in sports at all, even if it's not super your thing to do, it's a free thing for you all to do on campus, and to really feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And if you've ever heard that song Sandstorm by Darude, we play that every single game at the University of South Carolina in our Williams-Brice football stadium to get our students hyped up. And that's when we roll around our rally towels and make it a huge sandstorm down there in Columbia every Saturday in South Carolina. So we're going to move on and talk a little bit about some advice that we have for y'all for your senior years. So Judy, would you like to go ahead and get us kicked at that?
Sure. So this is advice just for your senior year. I just wanted to make sure that when you are applying to colleges or you're getting information, create a new email account for college applications and for college mail. Don't use your school email address, because this can become problematic. A lot of times your school email address will end in June when you graduate, and then there'll be no place for email to go. You want to make sure that the email address that you're using does not have a big firewall, so you can get all computer generated emails, because a lot of times that's how we will send things out. We want to get you the most bang for the buck, so we'll send it to a lot of you. Jeannie, do you have your advice?
Yeah, just make sure to read through your application a few times before submitting it, because once you submit it, no changes can be made for most schools. But also when it comes to your senior year, just remember to have fun, because this may be the last time that your friends will be easily accessible. So just remember, it can be stressful, but have fun during this process.
Also, don't forget to step out of your comfort zone. Remember that achievement is earned, it's not given to you. So do everything you can to make this a very special time in your life.
Advice for going away to college: research your colleges and ask your friends who are there about their college experiences. There's nothing that's going to be better than to find your friends talking about the experience that they're having, and maybe that thing that you might want. Find a college that appreciates you and will help you achieve your goal. That's the last piece of advice that I have my own children, and it really is about finding your fit. Jeannie?
Make sure to just use as many resources as possible. Social media, YouTube, anything like that. Just don't be fooled by the glitz and glam of it all and stats, and because this picture is really pretty on their Instagram page.
Also, while it's really important to get the input and the advice of your friends and family members, make sure that this process is truly all about you, and that you're thinking independently and individually about what you're looking for in a college experience.
So this is where you can find us. I'm doing a presentation next week. We all have virtual information sessions that are ongoing. Most of us, some of us have campus tours, some of us do not. So this is going to be your best way right now to gauge that demonstrated interest and to really get a feel and a flavor of what your schools have to offer. So don't be a stranger. We want to hear from you. If you have questions for any of us, this is our contact information. Take a screenshot of it, email us, call us, follow us on social media. We love to hear from you. We are here to answer your questions. We have loved giving you all of this, our taste of the South, and we hope that y'all don't be strangers and you come visit us real soon. Okay, so now is the time that we're going to open it up. If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat if you so choose.
So it looks like we've almost come to the end of our time here. We don't seem to have any questions. Oh, we have a raised hand, and that's my fault. I was supposed to turn that off, that feature off. So even if you could go to the question and answer and type your question there, that would be helpful. Then our panelists can answer it for you because, oh, hopefully that's you. Oh, there we go. Some questions for you all.
Okay, so I'm going to take this question. It says, would you recommend sending SAT or ACT scores if they meet the school's average score? Of course. I feel if we are requiring, I know that University of Florida is requiring, still requiring SAT, ACT scores. UA is requiring them also, and you need to have them sent. We will admit you conditionally without them right now, but you will need to submit them by May of 2021. So I say if you, especially for scholarship purposes, you would want to send those scores in, and you need to send them from the testing facility. So you'd want to reach out to act.org or collegeboard.org and get those scores sent.
I can speak to that question too. Alexis, you're recommending SAT or ACT scores if they meet your school's average score. USC is completely test optional. So if you're applying to the University of South Carolina and you have test scores on file, but if you're not super excited about them, if you feel like your application might be better without them, that's fine. You don't have to submit them, but we are encouraging all students who have test scores to submit them. A lower score than what we may have admitted in the past is not necessarily going to hurt a student this year, since it is a completely test optional year.
I will address, it's okay that you were late. This was recorded, so you are able to go back and see the beginning parts of it if you would like to. But also when it comes to joining the National Guard and how do you combine that with your education, it really does vary on what schools. Not all schools offer National Guard or certain branches of the ROTC. So it really does depend on the school. I know UF, we have most of the branches, so students are able to work with their advisor to be a part of the ROTC program, and usually training is usually in the mornings or later at night.
I can speak to that also. At the University of Alabama, our ROTC, we have Air Force ROTC and we have Army ROTC. And yes, you can actually begin that process as an incoming freshman, and you'll be able to talk to one of our officers to figure out how that you would work that into the process with your classes. And as Jeannie said, it is the South, so you're going to either train early in the morning or you're going to train late at night, because let me tell you, you do not want to be out there in the afternoon.
All right.
To that, we also have, we also have ROTC at the University of South Carolina. We have Air Force, Army, and Navy ROTC programs. We're also in an Army-based town. Fort Jackson for the Army is about 20-minute drive away from campus, very close by.
All right, so that's about all we have time for. I thank all of you for signing in and checking out the South. I know I learned a lot to share with my students. Remember, this is recorded, so you will be able to watch this again, or if you know someone who wanted to check out one of these universities, you can give them the link and share it with them. I'd like to thank our panelists, because we do appreciate your knowledge and your pictures and your fight songs. It certainly, revved up this rainy afternoon here in New Jersey. Students, we definitely encourage you to sign up for more sessions. There are 185 in total, so definitely take a closer look. We have group sessions like this week and singles college sessions starting next week. And I believe Judy said, and I know for sure University of Alabama is probably one of them. So that's about it. Students, you will get a quick survey once I close. It closes very abruptly, so I thank all of you for coming. I thank our panelists. It's been a wonderful afternoon. Have a great day. Bye.